Hello everybody. The chapter begins with Arthur breaking out from the heavens into lions, asking people if with holy wars they have not asked loved ones, people do not accept their words. But Arthur shows an illusion of lost loved ones, of people of lions gained confidence of some. Just at that moment Tristan arrives to confer it and it attacks him. But Meliodas arrives, who is now the king of lions, with the mythical full counter after an ardor discussion, and Meliodas exchange blows capable of destroying mountains. Citizens are concerned about getting involved in the fight, but Tristan stays and goes to the fight, but he is easily defeated and Meliodas saves him. They argue and Tristan begins to suffer for his power, and Meliodas helps him and Arthur attacks them from behind. But in an epic moment, Lancelot arrives and saves them. Lancelot, in a blink, the fight begins and does a lot of damage to Arthur. He attacks him and Lancelot dodges his attacks, but Lancelot without anyone knowing how he shot down Arthur. But Arthur manages to stand up and effectively attack Lancelot by making Meliodas have to help him, but it was no use. As Arthur already active in the chaos that is in his right arm, Arthur says that chaos only protects him as a host who is unconsciously, that is, he has no relation to his will. For that reason, Lancelot could not foresee that attack. Meliodas regrets not having separated the chaos of Arthur in the last holy war, and just at that moment Lancelot stands up as if nothing had happened, and tells Arthur that he knows nothing about him, and with his enormous magical power frightens Arthur. And at that moment the Knights of Chaos arrive with the main enemy of both of them. And when Arthur decided to go Lancelot in less than a blink, he pierces his heart with his arm, but it had no effect because Arthur and the knights simply vanished. But before leaving, he said to eradicate the 4 horsemen from the apocalypse. Then we went from scene to one of Percival with his friends, wondering that he is Camelot, and because Arthur was incomprehensible, Percival in the fight was of no use, thus concluding the chapter. Chapter 2 begins with Lancelot talking to a strange called Thetis, and she leaves after saying that I do not understand her feelings, and Lancelot replies that she does not train hers either. Tristan trains hard because she feels useless when she cannot help the previous combat at all. I never thought to his friends they went to see Meliodas and they met Elizabeth, who thanks them for their effort defending the kingdom, and then Meliodas appears and we realize that the girlfriend of Percival believed that Meliodas looked like in the writings and was disappointed for that. After a Percival talk on orders from Meliodas, he has to say goodbye to his friends since he is one of the horsemen of the apocalypse. But after an emotional moment, Meliodas says that they are confusing and then names friends as sacred knights. They get angry with Meliodas for being wrong in their way of speaking, but they are happy that they do not have to separate from Percival. Then we went from the scene to a room where the horsemen of the apocalypse and their groups are gathered. And at the meeting they talk about the 4 having to destroy Camelot and Arthur. Then Thetis, the magician, shows everyone what Camelot looks like, after Arthur took it to another dimension little by little. And Tristan asks Meliodas how he knows he is leaving little by little, and he knows that from the Percival grandfather, who was a gentleman, sacred, that he wanted chaos. His Aeliodes tried to finish it, but he fled. Along with Percival and Meliodas, he found them and helped. But Thetis says that there is no way to get to Camelot since Jericho killed all the prisoners with the mark that Arthur gives to access Camelot. Tristan says he believes the only way to get to Camelot is to wait for the Chaos Knights to attack them first in order to capture them. But Lugo, a member of the Tricitan group, says they are all useless, except Tristan, and Percival laughs, saying he wants to travel, explore, and defeat Arthur. Thus concluding chapter 2. The chapter begins with Percival talking to his friend about wanting to go on an adventure with everyone, but she declines, explaining that she needs to help Meliodas with new clothes and equipment. She expresses surprise that Meliodas is a king despite being a demon, to which Percival responds that it's no big deal since it's Meliodas. However, she doubts this, and Percival adds that if he were a demon, she would hate him. She disagrees, saying she wouldn't because he is himself. Percival hugs her from behind, making her blush. She pushes him away, but secretly appreciates that Percival behaves this way only with her. From a distance, someone is seen watching them. Next, we move to Tristan, who is talking to Isolde, who is in love with him. She tells him not to do anything reckless again, as her heart nearly exploded during their last battle. Tristan rejects her feelings, stating that he sees everyone as his comrades, and wants to be with them the way the 7 deadly sins were united. Then we see Lancelot, who is with his beloved, a girl about 1 meter tall, and they too are being watched by someone. Lancelot waits for his girl, who has changed clothes, and surprises him. Lancelot asks how she knew everything that was happening, realizing that she can foresee the future. She admits that she can see it perfectly, including conversations and details. She tells Lancelot that she saw a future she didn't want to see, where something bad happens to him, and she breaks down in tears. They continue talking, and she mentions that his existence has always supported her. She always wished to meet him one day, and now that they've finally met, she says that even if something bad happens, she feels she can endure it because she has him. Lancelot is confused, and she changes the subject before they part ways. As the girl leaves, she encounters the person who was following them. It turns out to be Ironside of Camelot, and she agrees to go with him. Lancelot senses something is wrong and quickly goes after her, but she telepathically tells him not to worry, assuring him they will see each other again because she cannot change the course of destiny. The scene shifts to Meliodas, who is talking to Gawain. She asks him if he truly believes she will fight against King Arthur as a knight of the prophecy. She also reveals that she is the daughter of Arthur's brother-in-law and says she has no reason to take their side. Meliodas replies that she must have her reasons for coming. She states that she could betray them at any moment but will act as a knight of the prophecy for now. Their conversation ends, and Meliodas gathers everyone into 2 groups, saying that Camelot's attacks will increase. He announces that Percival and Gawain's team will head north, Tristan's team will go south, and Lancelot will go alone to the east. They bid farewell, and the chapter ends. Hello everyone, the chapter starts with Ironside telling the girl that it's natural for her to be surprised by the landscape. She tells him that from that moment on, she will go alone. Ironside is surprised that she knows the landscape, and he offers to help her, but she refuses, saying that she will die in her son's arms. With that phrase, Ironside lets her go alone. The girl finds a door and decides to enter. She performs a spell that teleports her to Arthur, who is with Merlin. Then we see Ironside, who upon arriving home, finds his son and tells him not to worry about anything, that he will be with him and protect him. At that moment, we see that Ironside decided to go with his son to Camelot, to live the illusion that nothing will happen to his son because of the illness he has. Then we see Arthur talking to his fiancée, Lancelot's girl. She tells Arthur that all she wants from him is his prophetic ability. The girl ignores her and tries to speak with Merlin, but Merlin does not respond, and Arthur attacks her because that Merlin was just an illusion. After a conversation, she tells Arthur what will happen in the near future. She says that Lancelot will defeat 2 of the 4 knights, and Arthur decides to send soldiers for backup, ignoring the fact that changing destiny comes with a high price. Next, we see the group of the 4 horsemen, who have arrived at their destination. Everyone is surprised by the construction and the markings on the walls. They all arrive at a town where there's a festival. They go in search of a place to stay, and they find one, but they are unsure whether to stay because there are not many rooms available. Percival and his companion leave to explore, and then they all play rock, paper, scissors to see who will get the rooms. Tristan ends up with a beautiful girl, and Percival, a companion of Tristan, and Lancelot end up together. Lancelot is on high alert for whatever may happen. The girls pair up and decide to go to the festival, but they are being watched by the Knights of Chaos. Then we see the other boys reaffirming their friendship. Later, we see Tristan buttoning the girl's shirt when the others interrupt them, and they all head to the festival. Meanwhile, the Knights of Chaos prepare to attack, thus ending the episode.